It's Lionel Messi! He scored! The goal the world wanted!
It's time for the biggest sports stories.
It's Neymar trying to feed it through. It's a stretch and it's in. And I can't remember the last time I saw something like this. Extraordinary scenes.
The biggest interviews.
It's more difficult. Obviously, it's more difficult.
And all the analysis right here.
If they play poorly, they come back, they've got all the excuses. You can't have it both ways.
Every weekday, it's my sport, it's your sport. It's ZiFM Sport. Let's join the team for the biggest show in the world of sport on ZiFM Stereo. My station, your station.
ZiFM Sport every Thursday likes to keep it short, sharp and sweet. If this is rugby, this would be sevens. If it was cricket, it would be T20. And if it was soccer, it would be five-a-side, because we power pack everything into 25 minutes. We still carry the news, but we zone in on one critical issue that's developing in the world of sport, local or international. And today, we are zoning in on the fact that the South African Sports Confederation and Olympic Committee, SASCOC, has begun its groundwork to challenge the International Association of Athletics Federations, the IAAF, rules on testosterone in defense of star athlete Castor Semenya. That's been an issue that has been raging on internationally over the last couple of weeks, ever since that ruling by the IAAF. Today we'll be discussing the pros and the cons of the ruling on today's edition of ZiFM Sport. My name is Mike Madoda. I'm with Barry Manandi as well as Alois. Sean Tafidanyika is the man behind the desk. Let's get into it with your local and international sports news update.
From the front of the grid to the back of the net, it's ZiFM Sport.
And in that update, we start with athletics, where Zimbabwe's athletes are up for the Africa Union Sports Council Region 5 Regional Annual Sports Awards in Johannesburg, South Africa this month. The awards will be staged at Birchwood Hotel on May the 26th, and voting has already begun. The winners at country level are automatically entered as Raza nominees. Karateka Samson Muripo leads the Zimbabwean contingent after he was nominated for the Sportsman of the Year and Sportsperson of the Year awards in the annual National Sports Awards for Zimbabwe. In basketball news, Basketball Union of Zimbabwe President Joe Mujuru is optimistic that the national under-18 boys and girls teams will excel at the 2018 Afro-Basket qualifiers in Mozambique later this month. The competition will see Southern African countries battling it out for 2 qualifying slots in both the boys and girls categories. Mujuru appealed to the corporate world to sponsor and rally behind the team. Meanwhile, Buzz has started initiatives to revive the game in all provinces by establishing functional leagues.
International roundup, but Danny Cipriani has been recalled by England for next month's 3-test tour South Africa, while Billy Vunipola also returns. Cipriani won the last of his 14 caps in the World Cup warm-up loss to France in August 2015, but his good form for Wasps has seen him selected by head coach Eddie Jones. Jones has named 7 uncapped players in his 34-man squad, including Hurricanes captain Brad Shields, after the New Zealand Rugby Board granted his release. And in news coming out of the United States of America, Jason Tattum's go-ahead basket with 22 and a half seconds left sent the Boston Celtics back to the Eastern Conference Finals with a 114-112 victory over the visiting Philadelphia 76ers in Game 5 of their second-round playoff series. Tatum had a team-high 25 points. Jaylen Brown scored 24. Terry Rozier added 17, and Al Horford scored 15 points. Boston will face LeBron James-led Cleveland Cavaliers in the conference finals for the second consecutive season. The Cavs, who advanced after sweeping the Toronto Raptors, eliminated the Celtics last May in a 5-game series.
ZiFM Stereo is untouchable.
Hi, I'm Kirsty Coventry, and you're listening to ZiFM Sports.
All right on to our feature story now. The South African Sports Confederation and Olympic Committee, SASCOC, has begun its groundwork to challenge the International Association of Athletics Federations, IAAF, rules on testosterone in defense of star athlete Castor Semenya. Regulations on hyperandrogenism due to come into effect from November the 1st bar female athletes with high levels of testosterone from competing in middle distance events unless they take medication. This could have a huge impact on the career of Semenya, a double Olympic champion and triple world champion over 800 meters. SASCOC President Gideon Sam said the process to challenge the IAAF had started following a meeting of the National Governing Body's Medical Commission. Legal experts and high-ranking government officials from the Department of Sport and Recreation attended the discussions, according to Times Live. Yes, SASCOC has prepared this challenge on behalf of athletes like Castor Semenya.
Before we get into the discussion, SASCOC and testosterone should never be mentioned in one sentence.
In the same sentence. Do you know what? You guys should compliment me. I got through that entire report without laughing.
Well, let's leave it to the imagination. Go on.
Certainly. But they're preferring this challenger to the IAAF. But I don't think the IAAF had Castor Semenya in mind necessarily as a specific athlete when they made this ruling. They've done it before where they've talked about levels of testosterone, and we saw her performance dip. Then they lifted the ban. Now it's back again.
Barry, but you can't say they didn't have Castor Semenya, because there has to be a trigger to every action.
Yes.
To every ruling,
Yeah.
to every study that is made, there has to be a trigger.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
What
there
made
is
them
no
think so?
doubt that the trigger was Castor Semenya and her dominance of the events that she's running, the 400 meters, the 800 meters. She has dominated in those events. The
But is it
1,500
targeted
meters.
though?
Huh?
They are targeting her.
If she
There's
is
a
the
difference between
trigger,
a trigger
if she's the
and a
trigger,
target.
that means she's the target.
She's the target.
And my issue, and I'm just playing devil's advocate here for the IAAF, I don't think they sat and said to themselves, how can we stop this dominance of Castor Semenya? I think they just looked at it and thought, right, we need to cause a level playing field, because some of the ladies who throw shot put, some of the ladies who do throw the hammer throw, they look a little bit, butch and buff.
So why then target the specific events that Castor Semenya runs in?
Did they talk about
Why
shot put?
why are they not talking about shot
they
put?
didn't. Yeah.
Why are they not talking about the marathon?
Exactly. Yeah.
Why are they not talking about the 100 meters?
so those
Why are they
don't
not
have
talking about
testosterone.
200 meters?
So in essence, this is the Castor Semenya ruling.
Listen, for me, Barry, the injustice in this lies, and maybe let's remind people about that rule. The new IAAF rule states that female athletes who have a difference of sexual development, DSD as it's called, with circulating testosterone levels of 5 nanomoles per liter or above, and who are androgen sensitive, such as Semenya, must either restrict their levels to 5 nanomoles per liter through medication or look to compete in male events.
Right.
That is the ruling.
Yeah.
Now, I want to ask the question here, guys. Is the testosterone in Castor Semenya's body being produced naturally, or it's getting in there through unnatural methods?
It's natural.
It's natural.
So why?
Therefore, why are you punishing her for a natural condition? Are we to punish Usain Bolt for saying you had a longer stride than
You are
any
too
other
tall.
athlete?
So
You're
if
too
you
tall.
want to compete for the 100 meters, reduce your height.
Yes. Because you can only
So
run
that you can-
with fellas who are 2 meters and 30 centimeters tall.
You can't run with those shorter guys.
No. Look, and that's. I think you're dramatizing it, and correctly so. And correctly so, because if you look at Castor Semenya, she's running with the testosterone in her body that's naturally occurring. I think the question should be asked whether that testosterone was introduced by another substance that she's taking. Then certainly it then comes down to performance enhancing.
Exactly.
But if it's naturally occurring, I think she should be allowed to run.
I think so. It's just like somebody who is saying that your capacity, your heart is too big, so you don't get tired easily. So for you to perform with the others, make sure that your heart comes back to be the same size as the others. It's when the heart is natural, you train for it, and seriously, I don't understand. It's like Lionel Messi, you can't be playing football because you are too quick for everybody else.
Yeah.
If you want to play football, you must run at the same speed as the others.
And in truth, Castor Semenya has gone through the mill. I mean, you look at her victory in 2009 at the IAAF World Championships in the 800 meters, and she was 18 years old. She had to undergo a sex test.
Imagine.
She passed that sex test to say that she is a woman. Okay, having done, they've been pursuing her on and on. You look at the 2011 ruling by the IAAF on hyperandrogenism as well, whereby they then went down to if you're above 10 nanomoles per liter. And so it's almost a hunt.
There's always been against Castor.
If you want further proof that this was triggered by Castor and is targeting Castor, let's go back to history.
Yeah.
You know Jamila Kratochvilova?
No, I don't.
She was a Czech middle distance runner. Okay? Born in 1951.
Yep.
She won the 400 meters, 800 meters in 1983 World Championships, setting a world record in the 400 meters. In 1983, she also set the world record for the 800 meters, which still stands and which is currently the longest standing individual and world record in athletics. Only one athlete, that's Pamela Jelimo of Kenya in 2008, has come within a second of Kratochvilova's mark since it was set.
Okay.
She looked like a dude.
She was like a dude.
If you think Castor Semenya looks like a man, this chick looks like a dude.
Have you got a picture?
How come those rulings were not made then? When she was dominating athletics and dominating those distances.
Right. And you see, it begs the question. And then obviously we'll then approach the subject.
Oh, here's a picture.
Let's have a look.
Is that a woman?
Shucks,
Is that a woman? She's buff.
I swear I went to school with a guy who looked exactly.
No, she looks like a man.
Yes.
She dominated.
Yeah.
You know, my worry is why athletics where Castor Semenya is competing. What about those that are doing javelin?
Yes.
What about those ones that are doing shot put? They also look like men.
Discus.
Discus.
Yeah, hammer throw.
Yeah, why not those?
And so you then look at it, and I think it then approaches the discussion around institutionalized racism, whereby because she's from Africa, because she's a black girl, and then
we can't help but think like
I don't normally want to think along those lines, but we can't help it.
It leads us into that.
And here's the thing as well, because there have been, of course, subsequent opinions that have come out, and I think actually a number of high-profile people working with the IAAF have since resigned.
Yeah, some have resigned.
Have actually resigned.
We can be part
the ANC itself has actually called this very racist in nature, this particular law. And so there are people who have actually questioned the studies that were done by the IAAF and actually say that in terms of they fall short even scientifically of proving anything whatsoever. So it looks like these guys have gone on recommendations rather than on hardcore scientific fact. And that's why I believe these challenges that are being put forth in a court of law will actually carry the day and win.
Yeah. And I don't know whether it's because we're in Africa, she's an African, but there's a groundswell of support certainly on our WhatsApp platform. And if you want to weigh in with your thoughts, 0731168045 is the number to get through to that. In fact, it's 0772 168-045 0772-168-045.
Can I also just say that we're going to be posting that picture of the Czech runner on our social media
and compare with Castor.
I'm not going to say the guy's name, but I went to school with a guy who looked square.
Don't say it, just in case he's listening. You might find him parked outside in the car park waiting for you. But we're going to post that picture, and then we're going to also post a picture of Castor Semenya.
Yeah, and
then let you guys decide. So all you need to do is follow and interact with us on Twitter and Facebook at ZiFM Sport.
You certainly do. And if you are sending through a message to 0772-168-045, you can be like Arthur, who has got in touch. He says, if you look at the way the ruling has been carved out, it's evident it was to catch Semenya. Even Paula Radcliffe came out and said it was about time. It's certainly unfair. More thoughts coming through are from, you don't give us your name, but you say, because Castor is African and not just an ordinary African but a successful one, they can't accept that she's a woman, and it's just unfortunate that she resembles a man. And like we said, it's not just Africans. You got that Czech athlete. Silas says, gents, we know exactly what's going on here. It's a different set of rules for the African successful athletes. Apparently we are cheating if we win, and if they win, then they're not cheating. Thanks very much for that comment, Silas. Get through to us. Lots of messages coming through, and the groundswell seems to be that Castor Semenya is not getting a fair shake.
Yeah, absolutely. Keep your messages coming in on our WhatsApp platform 0772-168-045. 045 0772 168 045. We are discussing the latest Castor Semenya saga that's coming out of the IAAF, where they have made a ruling saying that female athletes who have a difference of sexual development, DSD, with the circulating testosterone levels of 5 nanomoles per liter or above, and who are androgen sensitive, such as Castor Semenya, must either restrict their levels to an acceptable level, according to the IAAF, through medication, or they have to compete in male events.
Yeah.
Another way of simply looking at it, Alois, is to ask the question: is Castor Semenya male or female?
Exactly. I wanted to come to that. Are they saying that at that level you become a man?
That's the inference, because
basically
the ruling says that if your levels are higher than that, you have to participate in men's events.
Listen, call me old school.
Yeah.
Call me old fashioned.
Yeah.
But the last time,
there's a simple way to check whether you're a
best way to check if you're a man
or a woman.
It's not a blood test.
It's not a blood test.
You're so right, Mike. You know what? When a baby comes out, we don't do a blood test.
You just look.
We just look.
We just
look
at the undercarriage. Okay.
That's it.
And if the undercarriage has certain parts, then we know it's a boy. If it doesn't have certain parts, then we know
there we go.
that it's a woman.
Why are we complicating it?
You know what? I found another one. Indian sprinter Duty Chand successfully appealed to the Court of Arbitration. Indian sprinter, yes,
okay.
No less. And she successfully appealed to the Court of Arbitration for Sport, to the CAS, against her exclusion from the 2014 Commonwealth Games in Glasgow under the hyperandrogenism ruling. However, she claimed that the rules discriminated unfairly against women who naturally produced high levels of testosterone. So like you pointed out earlier, it's a very subjective ruling. The science, yes, is not conclusive. It comes down to the sports body you're dealing with and how tolerant they are. And anything that goes into the realm of subjectivity, for me, isn't good enough.
It isn't good enough, and it's almost like you're classifying athletes like Castor Semenya in the same bracket you would a drug cheat.
Exactly.
That's what you're doing.
Exactly.
And that for me is unfair.
Yeah.
Okay, let's say,
because this is naturally produced.
Yes.
Well, how about let's say somebody, a man who has got the organs of a man and is producing that is lower in the bracket of women.
Of women. Can they compete with women?
Now you go and compete with the women?
Well, look, if it's good for the goose, it's good for the gander.
Exactly.
So it's got to apply both ways.
But they're not going to make that ruling.
They're
not going to make that ruling.
Because a bearded fella running against women isn't going to fly. This one says...
Come on, read it.
Yamashisha says, hi guys. That testicles ruling. I'm not sure.
No,
I think it's testosterone.
I think the earlier story.
It is. Maybe that's got a meaning at the end.
I
think earlier on when you mentioned Sascock, I think that's what led him up to
go that route. Anyway, let me correct you. He says that testosterone ruling is racist, bigoted, and disrespectful to all Africans. They humiliated Castor by making her anatomy. It proved them wrong. Now this, he says, shame. Thank you, Nyamashisha, for your messages. Messages are streaming in. So what happens when a guy has more...
If I was Ambassador Mchango, I'd call them charlatans and fascists.
Yes, charlatans and fascists. Bunji, someone who agrees with you here. You don't give us your name, but you say, so what happens when a guy has more of the female hormone? Is he going to be told to run races with girls?
Exactly.
And we just discussed that.
That's the question that Alois asked.
It's not going to happen. They are not going to accept that at all. This one says, hi guys, you rock, the best sports show in the country. That's Munyatsunga in Waterfalls. They keep streaming in. They keep coming through. One more before we go. He says, this is Brian from Tada. He says, they tried to do it on Serena Williams, but fortunately, she is from America.
No. You can't do that to mine.
No.
She's very woman.
Serena Williams is a woman.
Serena Williams is a woman.
I'm willing to be subpoenaed to speak in a court of law.
and declare she is a woman.
Oh,
woman.
Built like a house. And she's got a child to prove it as well. So that means she's got the right bits under the hood.
And the child was not sired by Mike Madoza, I can confirm.
Well, unfortunately, we'd love to carry on with this discussion, but every Thursday we have to keep it short, sharp, and sweet. But just something, of course, to make you talk, to make you discuss, and to make you debate out there. Keep your interactions coming in with us on Twitter and Facebook at ZiFM Sport. It is Throwback Thursday.
Be sure to catch ZiFM Sport every weekday on ZiFM Stereo. My station, your station.